Hey, I'm John, and this is Frogville Studios in Santa Fe, New Mexico. I'd like you to come in and take a tour and meet somebody special. So in the beginning, we did everything in this one room. For 7 years, we recorded maybe 75 records in this room. And then we got to expand. And it's been quite a journey since. But let me introduce you to one of the sweetest people in the world, and a lady with the golden voice, heart, voice, lungs, mind, all hooked in together, and she delivers the goods like no other. Miss Felecia Ford. Come on. Miss Felecia Ford.
How's it going?
It's going well.
This is my favorite big frog in the world.
Thank you. How's my favorite Felecia in the world?
Oh, thank you.
All right, ladies, I'll leave you to it.
Thank you. How's it going, Julia?
It's going well. Keep playing. Keep playing for me. I'm going to take advantage. I get a private show. That was awesome.
Thank you.
This reminded me, I think the first time I saw you play, the kids were like so tiny, and it was out in Leamy. I can't even imagine where you were playing out there, but I remember.
Yes, it was someone's birthday party. Yeah.
Do you remember?
Yeah.
And so the kids were what, 5, 6?
They were very little.
Yeah.
They may have even been littler than that.
Yeah, and now they're grown up and gone.
Mm-hmm.
Where are
Yeah.
they?
Bella is going to film school in Aurora, outside of Denver, and Quana is in Albuquerque, going to UNM.
Oh, that's awesome. And so how did you, so all these years you've been touring, what, over 160 different countries. Did they go with you, or how did you balance all
Well, it was mainly radio that is where we were in 157 countries. So that we really only toured U.S., Mexico. Before 100 Year Flood, I went up into Canada. And then we went across seas over to the Netherlands.
Yeah.
And we were about to go to Japan, and then that all went away. But that's fine. That's on me. It wouldn't have, I wouldn't be where I am today if I hadn't had all that experience. So.
Yeah. Was it hard with the kids, like balancing that? Because you're you're like pretty focused on.
Yeah, I pretty much dug in right around when they were about 5 and 7. We decided, no more touring. And I just would go with the flow, like we would have them in the car in their seats, and then we'd arrive, and then I'd breastfeed both babies, and then they would stay with a sitter, or sometimes even in the van with Kendra, because that's where they were comfortable, and then I'd get off stage and breastfeed again, go back, get on stage again, so no partying for me. I was just like really literally so focused on just the shows, which I think was actually pretty great, because when we started really, traveling, not by air, but when we started traveling in the car, then that just becomes a little harder with the kids, because when we would go back and forth to California or whatever, I could leave them for the night and fly, and then get to go out and have a beer with everyone after the show, but not, but being a mother is the most important thing to me in the world.
When I met Felecia Ford, she was barefoot and pregnant and dancing a storm in the middle of this bar in Wimberley, Texas. And then towards the end of the show, she got up on stage and sang with Amy Curl, Cloudy Skies and Paper Wings, and it was like, oh my God.
So I just said, I'm not gonna chase that life right now. I'm just gonna have fun in Santa Fe and raise my children in a safe, wonderful atmosphere.
Whoa, yo, so down home, girl.
And they're a little musical, both of them, aren't they?
Yes, they are. Yeah. Bella is very shy, and Quana is pretty shy too, but they're both very talented. So.
You and Quanah recorded what, Hurricane song together, yeah?
No, not Hurricane. It was called Tornado Lover.
Okay. Had a
So it's
weather
really
pattern
similar. Tornado Lover, yeah. And yeah, he joined me on the Lindsay stage, and just no problem at all. He wasn't even nervous.
It was so fun to back you up when you were at the Lenzik. That was the first time I ever got to be on the Lenzik stage, and I'll never forget that night when it was the Felecia Ford show, and Quana was on the gig. Anyway, it was a beautiful night.
You started performing as a child, though, too, right?
I did. I started performing, I think, when I was 11, actually, on stage. But when I was 2, I crawled out from underneath my parents' feet in Birmingham, Alabama, went up onto this huge stage in Birmingham, and they put the spotlight on me, and I literally knew all the words to Elvis. I was 2. I don't even know how that happened, but I knew all of the Elvis tunes, and so I went through 2 full songs, one of those beach Elvis ones from the really bad one. And so I literally stayed on stage and performed, through both of his songs.
That's amazing. You knew from like the get-go that you wanted to be a singer.
Yeah.
And did they encourage you? It sounds like
Oh
it,
yeah. My mom loved to hear me sing, and she would just cry every time I would sing, because she just felt so connected to me as a mom. We were very close, and she passed away in 2015, and I'm just so full of love for her, and I still feel her so close. And so when I do sing, I always connect with my mom pretty much every time first, because it's always for her. I mean, it's for her.
That's amazing.
And it was for everyone else too, but she really was the one that believed in me the most.
And then so first singing, and then piano, accordion, percussion, you just kept picking up instruments as you went?
Yeah, I played piano when I was 6, and I didn't take it super serious, but I always had a piano teacher until I was in 9th grade. It wasn't until I was in high school that I decided I didn't want to do piano anymore because my teacher was very strict, and we had to do recitals all the time, and I really just wanted to sing on the weekends and maybe go out of town and do a talent show here or there, And so my interests grew beyond learning the piano, and I wish that wouldn't have happened. I wish that I would have stuck with it. Although it's never left me. I always, pretty much daily, will sit down and sing my songs or sing covers or whatever. I connect to the piano when I'm sad or whenever I'm confused. This is like my best friend.
Do you write your songs on the piano?
All my songs are written on the piano,
Oh, wow.
yeah. I've written like one on the guitar, and a couple I've written actually for this album. One I wrote just with a stomping beat, and did the whole song and the lyrics and the melody and everything, and then took it to Matt McClinton, and he was just like, oh yeah, boom, 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 came up with these cool parts,
So now your first album, Kissing Booth, am I right?
Mm-hmm.
Did you record that here?
I did.
Oh wow.
The very first recording done here in this house was the first 100-Year Flood record done in New Mexico. It was done on some borrowed equipment on ADATs, which were 8-track high 8 tapes or something, and some of the gear was a little noisy, and it wasn't the best, but it got our feet wet.
Oh wow. So and all of the albums then since
Yes.
then.
Yes. So this will be my 7th or 8th album. I can't remember. I think we did 6 before I came, but one of those was in Austin, and then I've done 2 here.
So what drew you to start recording here? You're such an amazing live performer, and probably a lot of people, that's how they know you, from seeing you perform. But
Thanks.
the studio must be really different.
The studio is way different. I don't get the feeling that I get, you know, when you're on stage and everyone's giving you their love and their energy.
So the one word that I think of when I think of Felecia is fire. She's always got fire. She never phones it in. She always just brings 100%, 110%. You know, it's like, I can remember over the years seeing her at different gigs, different things, and no matter what was going on in the audience, whether it was a big crowd that was way into it, or maybe there weren't a lot of people there, or whatever was going on, you know, she never did not give everything she had to it.
You know, the people that really care about you, they want you to do well. They don't want you to forget a word or do all those things that you can do on stage in front of lots of people. So it really brings the performer to the next level of, so you have to come up with that on your own, and you have to really realize that, like, why you're singing, where you got your voice, where you want to go with it. You know, all those things just have to be on a level playing field, because if you get too weirded out about what shoes you're gonna wear, or, you know what I'm saying?
Even though you're wearing them Bergamo high heels.
Tell me a little bit about the new album. It's called Road Less Traveled.
I think I'm gonna call it The Road Less Traveled.
Yeah.
I think that's a great idea. No, I really do. I know that this actual song that we're gonna play for you today, we're gonna make it a single.
Oh.
And this is the song that Matt and I wrote together.
Mm-hmm.
And but I'm thinking that I like the idea, just knowing what all the songs are about, that The Road Less Traveled seems like it would work for the whole album.
What are the songs about?
Well, these 4, or some of it's about, you know, being shut up, and, you know, and what I would hope that my friends are feeling and thinking for themselves, and not getting depressed, but actually doing something with that time. And so it's just really like trying to tell them that they're worth it, that any kind of sadness or any kind of stuff that we've been going through because of whatever it be, politics, wearing masks, you know, COVID, whatever, that we really just need to come together and be that nation that we're supposed to be, you know. And so I think I could very possibly hit some nerves a little bit, but not that much. I mean, you know, I just want to give how I feel about a lot of different topics rather than only just love. I've been singing about heartbreaking, and all that. I'm over that.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm so over that. So the songs that I have on this album are so, like, the love songs are true love songs, you know.
Hello, Felecia lovers. As a part of this Farewell to Felecia tribute, I'm here on the beautiful property of Lou and Felecia. Hello, Lou.
Hello, Talia. Thank you so much for being a part of this and being in our lives.
Thank you, Lou. And where are we right now? Like, what happened at this place?
This is our home. And there's a long story about how Felecia and I ended up here. And it's a beautiful love story. And this place has just evolved from a place to live to a home to a place just to share music, share life, share scenery, sunsets, and actually it's a place where we even got married. We got married right there.
You did.
We did, and you being
And I married you.
You married us. Yes, you did.
So when did you first set your eyes on Felecia? The first time.
There was this little cafe on Water Street. A friend of ours, a mutual friend of ours, was hanging out at the Cowgirl on a Sunday morning, which blended into Sunday afternoon, and we were a bunch of people goofing around, and the end of the evening, she says, "Hey, I'll take you out to dinner, but I need to stop by at the High Note to hear a friend of mine is going to be singing there." And so we went in, and it was all crowded, and there was one gal sitting at a table. She had blue hair, and it was new to me. And so we, and she waved us over, and my friend Cynthia Canyon introduced us.
Hey, Felecia and Lou moving to Mexico. Can you believe it? Oh, the heartbeats that we'll miss with all our own. You two didn't know each other, and I had the honor of introducing you to each other. What a gift that is. And now you have each other. I love you both so much. Felecia, there's no one as compassionate and kind and loving and rising all ships the way you take your shirt off the back to give to others, and how much you care and teach us all to be more compassionate. And Lou, you deserve each other. You're both as good-hearted, kind to others that you can imagine. It's going to be quite the adventure. See you on the ride.
And the next thing you know, she says, "Hey, I have to get up and sing now." I'm like, I had no idea who this person was. And she got on stage and she sang, and I'm like, I got, you're good. And that was where it all started.
The world stopped.
The world stopped. Literally it did. And I knew right then and there, this is a special person. We actually went out to dinner, and there was a wait to get in the restaurant. We were hanging out for maybe 15, 20 minutes. Got to know her a little bit more. We had dinner, and then at the end of the evening parted ways. And for a number of days afterwards, I tried to get her phone number, and our friend wouldn't give it up. And then about 2 weeks later, my friend called and said, "Hey, you remember Felecia?" I'm like, "Yeah."
And then the songs that I write to my audience are actually love songs too. So I would say that they're probably very much like a love song, you know?
One word, love. When you sing, dear Felecia, everyone's heart sings along with you. It's been such a blessing to know you. I'm sure we're going to see you again, either here or San Miguel, and hear you again. And I'm so grateful I got to know you and play a little music with you, and wish you all the blessings and all the love that you deserve, because you're one in a million. God bless you and Louis. See you soon.
I heard a rumor there's a song about social media.
Yeah.
It was an interesting story that somebody had watched a video of her and three other musicians at a house concert here that we did, and they made a real disparaging comment.
You know, I was just on one night checking, comments, whatever, and this woman found this video, and never had met her. And she said something really rude, a very horribly rude comment, and it was not just about me, it was about my friends that were performing.
I think that experience is something we've all had in social media, where you either have a faux pas or somebody faux pas you, and you just don't know how to interpret or react to it.
And really, it was one of the most beautiful performances that I had heard in a house concert. I was just singing backup, and it was David Berkeley, and he has just got one of the most beautiful voices in the world. Ben Wright was playing his guitar and had the perfect third part harmony. Karina Wilson was playing the violin like an angel. And then I was singing, I didn't miss up any words, and I was singing right behind him, just everybody had it. We were right on.
I believe it.
She said something like, looks like a bunch of F-ups to me, or something like that. And so I just literally just put it down. I went right straight down to my piano. I was just like, and I just went straight for just a G minor.
Next thing you know, she's sitting down at a piano writing this song.
Yeah. And then the whole song just came from there. And basically just saying, you think you know me, but how could you know me? You've been so cruel, and you've wasted my time. So then I get in and I talk about how I'm tired of the corruption, I'm tired of the lies. It gets really deep on that one. I get a little aggravated.
So what did Felecia do? She turned it into a song.
I get a little worked up when I play.
Understandable. It can get pretty toxic. And you're more of a post pictures of sunsets on social media, right?
Exactly. I try my hardest to stay away from anything negative that way. But I didn't even name the song. My husband, he said, that sounds like social media blues. And I was like, oh, that's it.
So my favorite song of all, it's tough, but I would have to say Social Media Blues.
Speaking of sunsets, though, I mean, you have been, it seems like spending a lot of time in nature and thinking a lot about sort of the world outside, I guess as we all have from inside. Does that make its way into the album too?
It does, actually. I find myself writing love songs to the sky, to Mother Nature. And so there's a couple on there that are, You're the One is actually a song that I wrote that started out. The very first line was when Quanah, my son, moved out of the house. And so that very first line was, I'm going to miss you in your magic. I have my feet planted in my heart, here. So, but then the whole rest of the poem was from a photograph I took, and almost the whole poem was just laid over the music that I wrote. So. Oh, wow. I do that a lot. I actually write things as poems first.
Well, I've had the opportunity to work with Felecia really only just a handful of times. I mean, we've played a few gigs together. I've seen her perform a bunch of times, but the one, I think for me, the most special interaction musically that I had with her was when we co-wrote a song together, and it's the only song we've ever co-written. I had music that I had pretty much finished, and I got together with her and I showed her this melody and chord changes that I had, and then she wrote this beautiful set of lyrics to it. And for me, that was a unique experience because I collaborate with a lot of songwriting partners, but it's never really quite in that way where I have sort of a finished music and then somebody comes and then takes it and adds this lyric to it that just elevated into a beautiful poem. And hearing that come to life, we worked together at Frogville to produce the recording. It was really just the two of us, her singing and me playing all the instruments. It was such a beautiful, emotional experience, which I'll never forget. And I will cherish that and cherish the song we wrote together as long as I live.
For the most part, it's almost like a part of my journaling, but I try to do it in a creative way. To where I'm not using the same lines and the same words every time, but that it feels poetic to me because I'm a poet. I'm not the best poet in the world, but I do the best with what I have, so.
Amazing. So from 100 Year Flood, Dream Dust Caravan, tell me about the band now. Sort of who are you working with now on this album?
Well, on this album, I started 6 songs over the past year and a half or so. And I hired all my friends that are incredibly professional players,
One word that I think of when I think of you, Felecia, would be joy. From all the bands we've been in, from that short stint with 100 Year Flood to the Cherry Pickers to Broom Dust Caravan to your band, you've always been a joy to work with and always just been great to be around. And you've always been a genuine soul, and your voice will be sorely missed. I hope that down in Mexico people will appreciate what they're hearing because it's a beautiful thing. And I will miss you too, and our family will miss you for sure. But we'll be happy to come see you soon.
David Waldrop is on all 4 or 6 of those songs as a drummer. And then I have Justin Lindsay, who's on also these 4, the new ones. So he's like all over the album.
So yeah, Felecia and I go way back. I met her maybe like when I was maybe in high school still. And I used to sneak, my friends and I used to sneak into bars to go watch her band play 100 Year Flood. And it was, sometimes sometimes we'd get to stay for the show and watch the whole thing. Sometimes we'd get kicked out, but that's how I met them. And sometimes they would actually they started coming to some of my band shows. And I was surprised when they showed up to one of my gigs. I was like, really? Like, Felicia's showing up to one of my gigs? And so yeah, I've met her a long time ago. I'm 35 now, so I was 17, 18 back then, and so I've known her a long time. And eventually, 100 Year Flood, I started jamming with them, and like we started going on tours and things like that. We toured in Europe, had good times out in like Amsterdam and Holland and stuff, and different towns out there. And she's always been just one of the most big-hearted, loving, genuine, compassionate people on the planet that I've ever met. And we have been dated for a long time. And she's awesome. And her new guy now, Lou, is amazing. They're going to Mexico now, and starting a new chapter over there and all that good stuff.
That's it.
If you know her, and if you were lucky enough to meet her, then give her a big ol' hug for me. Rock and roll.
Even Randy Sanchez from Nosotros.
Hello, Randy Sanchez here with Nosotros and Noy Sus Santos, wishing the best for Felecia and Lou on their move to Mexico. We hope them the best life down there, and we look forward to seeing them in the future. So many blessings to your happiness and to your future. Peace.
So really, I just drew from my friends.
Felicia's voice it's so rare that you get to hear it anymore. And to spend all day listening to it coming directly into my ears and with no outward influence at all, it was awesome. And under the direction of Matt too, it was really, I like working with this team, and every producer and every engineer has a different approach on how to extract what they want out of a musician. And this team here has been really, it was a good workflow.
And then for these four, same thing. But everybody I knew, except for the horn player, I didn't know. Carly, she's fantastic. She made me cry during her horn solo. I can't even believe how beautiful it is. It's in Social Media Blues. Wow. And she just took that and just took it to the next level.
Hi, my name's Carly Marshall. I'm a sax player. I really enjoyed working with Felecia, and up here at Frogville, it's really nice to work with other female musicians. It's hard to come by, and Felicia's a really great writer, great singer, and look forward to working with her again in the future.
Dave Turner from Albuquerque is great, and we wrote a song for this album too.
Felicia's the sweetest soul in music I've ever met, so it's my honor to play with her and all these great musicians. Enjoy.
And then Matt McClinton, I just want to save him for last because Matt McClinton, when I decided I was going to come back in the studio and do these four, I was like, I can't do it alone again. I need someone's guidance. So he has come on as a producer, but he's also the bass player.
I am producer and bass player.
He was the first person I thought of, and even whenever I thought, no, maybe not, maybe I shouldn't, but oh yeah, I really should, And so I called him and asked him, and he was just like, of course I will,
She asked me to do it a couple of months ago, and I was thrilled because I've been a fan of hers since I moved to Santa Fe 15 years ago, and we've been friends for years. I've always wanted to work with her. That voice of hers, there's just nothing like it.
And so I told him, well, he goes, what songs do you have? Where do we stand? And I said, well, I've got three or four that are really almost finished, but they need arrangement, maybe a second verse, definitely need bridges.
She had recorded 6 songs a couple of years ago, which are great, and are going to go on the album. We're going to add some things to them and fiddle here and there.
One of those beach.
But then she also mentioned that she had some new material, one of which is The Road Less Traveled, the one that we're shooting the video for today, which she sang me. She had the lyrics and the melody, and then I kind of composed the music on the fly.
Oh, yeah.
And then we arranged it together.
I bounced my ideas off of him. He would add some beautiful chords that I would never have thought of.
The collaboration with her is so easy and fun.
That's it.
And I find that is really my favorite way to work, is in the collaborative way. And also to be asked by someone of her stature to produce a record is probably the biggest honor of my career.
And I feel like this group, if we can, I would love to keep it to where this would be the group that would play live with me. And I think they all want to and on board. I wouldn't say that they're my band or my anything, but they're my friends.
I had an awesome opportunity playing with Felecia on this record and this project up here in Frogville. I've also had a great opportunity of working with her through the years with different bands and different projects, and even had the privilege to do one of her anniversaries back at her high school. So that was a fun, exciting gig I don't really want to go into details about, but she's amazing and I wish her well. It's what an honor to be a part of this project.
You're hoping that you'll be able to tour, obviously, when things like
Yes.
that
Oh,
start
wouldn't it be
happening
great?
again. Yeah, for sure.
I would love that because, I'm an empty nester now. Even though I'm moving to Mexico, I plan to be up in New Mexico tons because we have 6 children in this whole area, right? So we have to be with family too.
I have 4 children. When I entered this relationship, Felecia had 2, and now we have 6 children between us. They love each other. Her children are my children are her children, and I now have 2 sons and 4 daughters, and it's a beautiful, beautiful thing.
And so now when I come back, I'm not just, I'm not just visiting or I'm not just living here or whatever. I'm actually going to be working here too. Because I hadn't worked here in a while. I've kind of been taking a break.
So you ruined the surprise. You're moving to Mexico. How did that come about?
Oh, was it supposed to be a surprise?
I was planning to get to it.
Okay, yeah. So we're moving to Mexico. Lou has always wanted to live in some warmer weather.
You are now sweeping Felecia off to a new adventure.
Yes. And it was very important to us that we felt good about where we're going to go. So we are going to be relocating to San Miguel de Allende in the state of Guanajuato in the country of Mexico.
We visited San Miguel many times, and then I played music down there with 100 Year Flood for over a month and a half.
Oh, wow.
Back in 1999, right before I had got pregnant with Quana. And so that was literally my last hurrah down in there. And ever since then, I've had some reoccurring dreams about Mexico. I've actually seen myself singing on stage down there. We'll see.
How did that happen? And congratulations.
Thank you. We're so darn excited about it. It's just, we just look at photographs. We've been there, traveled maybe half a dozen times there, and always gone to other places, but always end up going back there. And it was just almost a fluke that we made the decision, why don't we just live here? And it just kind of happened.
Felecia has always been wonderful to me in regards to music. I recently needed a film that we did with Michael Madsen, and she has just such a tremendous song that it is one of the highlights of that entire film. It really because of Felecia and the passion that she brings in her voice and in her music. And, I was trying to escape after the project, and I went down to Mexico, and I'm at the Cancun airport. I get on a bus, and I'm headed down to Playa del Carmen. And all of a sudden, I look up, and I see some crazy blue hair. And I'm like, I know that blue hair. And I get closer, and I'm like, Felecia, what are you doing here? She's like, oh my God, what are you doing here? I said, I'm just trying to escape a little Santa Fe. And then Lou came up and joined her, and they had such a great time. We ended up meeting up for several tacos and several tequilas, and had such a great time together down in Playa del Carmen. And I knew then and there, they had really just fallen so much for the spirit and the culture of the place. And I think that Mexico is going to embrace them, and they're going to love another city that's rich with history and full of the arts and so much creativity and warmth. And I wish Lou and Felecia the best, and I can't wait to come down and visit you guys. Love you guys so much. Be well.
Bittersweet to leave Santa Fe, or you feel all right about it because you're going to come
It's
back?
bittersweet. It's super bittersweet because I have so many amazing friends here.
Hi Felecia, I'm singing you a song. It's so good to see all my old friends. They're the only one who know me now, who knew me way back when. They know my heart and soothe my soul. We'll be friends till the bitter end. It's so good to see all my best friends. I met Felecia many years ago when she helped me come back into the music scene after 20 years. She gave me some vocal cord exercises to do and got me in shape to do my album Little Bird at Frogville Studio. We've been friends ever since, and she's a sweetheart. We're gonna miss her. You better come back and visit as often as you can. You can come stay with me or Mark anytime. We love you, honey. Happy trails.
Happy trails.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. And to Lou too. Bye.
Hi, Felecia. It's Susan Crow. I just wanted to congratulate you on your new album. I'm so happy for you. What a crescendo to your life here in Santa Fe. And also, I wish you wonderful, wonderful travels, a great new chapter. You've got a great partner, and we're going to miss you. I'm going to miss your smile. I'm going to miss all the beauty you bring to me and to everyone around you and your spirit. And you have a heart of gold, and it will be shining bright for all of us to see and hear. I love you. I miss you already. Have a great trip. And congratulations again on a great album. I can't wait to snuggle up to it.
Was there any question you're like gonna record your album in Frogville before you leave?
There, you know, that was the thing. I felt like if I move, I want to move and have everything completed, and that would be done. And so Matt was the one that said, "Oh, let's don't wait till July or August. Let's just get it done now," you know. Mm-hmm. So I think we're gonna try. We're gonna try. We have the 6 songs that need to be re-recorded for the vocals because we got some fantastic new mics that here at Frogville are just like the top of the line mics, and he has 4 of them on my voice at once, and it's just made a huge difference from the 4 songs that we just recorded to the 6 songs that we had done.
It's awfully pretty in here.
Isn't it?
Yeah, it's nice.
Yes, you know, Big John, he's painted all of these paintings, and all of the art is his. You know, whenever I started recording here, I think we were like the first band to record here. It was like 2007 maybe or so, or maybe a little earlier, 2006? No, maybe even 2004. Gosh, I don't even know. It was a long time ago that we started, and this room was not here.
Well, now it seems like you've got everything you need.
Just about.
Just about.
Every studio's still got a wish list as long as your arm, but pretty much we've got everything we need to make a badass record right here, including
I've heard a lot of them
keeping the band here, because now we've got the bunkhouse upstairs that sleeps 8, and a band could come in off the road and take care of everything right here, one-stop shop.
And that vocal room was not there, the amp room was not there, so this is really taken this studio to the next level, for sure. They've had orchestras in here, they've had big live shows in here before COVID, and then huge bands can come in here and just feel comfortable. This is like my second home. This is where you can see the beautiful western sunset. This is the vocal booth. Oh. So we'll set up a big mic here, and Nikki will bring in some ginger tea. They'll shut the doors, and then I'll have my own little world in here. All of these are all the Grateful Dead and Rolling Stones original t-shirts that John Treadwell had.
Heart, voice, lungs, mind, all hooked in together, and she delivers the goods.
He used to wear those and go to all the concerts, and now he just lets all the concerts come to him.
Fair enough.
So a great room. This is like, you know, one of my favorite places to be. This is the amp room. All the amps are all beautiful vintage, lots of tubes going on here.
Old 100-Year Flood poster.
Felecia, we're going to miss you. I have so many good memories of hearing you live. And I especially appreciate the way you and Kendra and other members of 100-Year Flood were so nice to my son back when he was a little kid and used to go to 100-Year Flood shows with me. You guys were just great. I love you. Have a great time in Mexico, and don't forget about us.
One word that I think of when thinking of Felecia is beautiful. And I'll reference a song, Hey Beautiful, that Felecia did with 100-Year Flood. And my story is the story that warms my heart and brings up wonderful memories is shortly after when 100 Year Flood moved to Santa Fe, I got him to come over and play my then wife's 33rd birthday party, Sunday brunch in our back garden. And it was just a lovely event, and Felecia sang "Hey Beautiful" to my wife, and made the event. And it's kind of typical of the warmth that Felecia expresses that you all have witnessed and felt. I'm sure going to miss her here.
And there's Joe West. Joe West. And he records a lot here.
When I think of Felecia Ford, I think awesome. I worked with her maybe for the first time when we were recording my album called Human Cannonball. And she came in and layered harmonies and built stuff on Veronica Rose the Flying Unicorn and Jimmy Joe the Wrangler and maybe another song on that record. And it blew my mind. It was some of the most groovy stuff on that record. And I love her dearly.
Yeah, so all the guitars, you know, my guitar players can come in and say, hey, you know, I forgot the acoustic, or it's not the sound that we're wanting, and then they have tons of choices. I can hear my kids' voices in this house sometimes.
They spend a lot of time here.
Back to when the children were babies. My son and Felicia's son, Quana, my son Cypress and Quana, were best buddies. So we spent lots of time here at Frogville, and Felecia and I had our babies together. Young, family, the view, and just like the kind of wildness of being young and free. She just has so much love and so much heart, and yeah, love her.
Yeah, and this room here is where we would all congregate to record, and you know, and basically this room, this hallway, and that bathroom were the recording studio back in the days. The kids used to come in and do little sound bites for Big John for KBAC.
So if I remember correctly, the first time I saw somebody recording here at Frogville, it was just in this room.
Yes.
I mean, that room didn't exist yet.
Yes. Everything was in this room. The control room, the drums, the bass, the amps, everything. The bass player might have to move his bass neck so that the drummer can hit the cymbals a couple of times.
How did it not all bleed together?
It did bleed together, and we were doing it on 1-inch 16-track tape. We were the first 12 or 14 records were all on tape.
And sometimes, you know, we would overflow into the kitchen, but now this is, I'd say, a world-class studio for sure, no doubt about it. I could recommend anyone to come here.
And it's so pretty.
You know, we're very, very fortunate. So
they've done a lot of work on it since the first time.
Oh yeah. They put in all the Jason Reed, who's an incredible engineer and musician. He is also great at woodworking, and he put this all in himself.
First word I think of when I think of Felecia is sweetness. She's just so sweet and kind and compassionate. Her capacity for all those things amazes me. How kind she is, and how she always sees the best in people, and it's just really wonderful person to be around and work with. And on top of all that sweetness and kindness, she is just so talented. Her voice and her singing just comes straight from the heart. It's a privilege to be able to work with her and capture her songs so that they'll be here for generations to come, hopefully. Thanks for the chance to get to work with you, and we're gonna miss you. Come back. We'll be here for you. You can come stay right here at Frogville, at your home away from home. And good luck.
For this album, we took the approach of trying to get like a beautiful wall of sound going, not taking the acoustic approach, on this. So it's amazing because we have all these great effects and
is it a different sound for you from like the roots?
I think so. Yeah. It's definitely different than the Americana because it leans more towards like R&B and blues. Oh yeah. And then it actually even gets into a little bit of a rock edge, kind of like Jeff Buckley, maybe cinematic rock. One of those beach, which I'm really loving because that's kind of the last few songs that I've written have all been that way. So I'm thinking, wow, what's the next album going to be like? What? Maybe that's a vein that I haven't just now figuring out. That's it. All right, well, this is the bunkhouse up here, so come on up. This is where the band stay. And like I said, I can really hear my kids' voices laughing and singing in this place because they used to come up and down these stairs and bother Big John. His office used to be right there. So now, beautiful bunkhouse. Look at this.
Yeah, sure.
With the most beautiful view in town. Yeah, this is special. I have come up here many times and put the kids to sleep, while we were recording downstairs. This is a very, very, very special place. It's sacred to me. This town is sacred to me, the people, and this place. And then this is the balcony, and this is a new addition as well when they put on the studio.
Wow.
They built this. Isn't it wonderful?
It's incredible.
Yeah. I love it.
Oh, you're gonna miss this view. Come on.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna miss this view so much.
Do you have a favorite Santa Fe memory? Something that's just
I would say maybe Frog Fest when everyone was in the rain. We were all in the rain and everyone was still dancing.
I remember that.
That and Zozobra was the same way. We had 20,000 people out there under umbrellas and tarps and just jamming. They were loving it. I just love that.
You must have missed performing this last year.
Yes, I did.
But you performed on stage, right, at the Lensic for their ghost session.
I did get to do that, and they even called me last week and asked if I could do something in April. And unfortunately, I'm moving, so I can't until maybe I get back. But you know what? I've made some incredible love connections here with all of my friends.
There's one word that I think of when I think of you, Felecia. It's sister. I think about all those years of fun times and memories, and too many things to list. But I also think about the time that you've been a real sister to me and an auntie to my kiddos, and from the time that you brought food over when Ava was born, to the time that you helped clean up her throw up in Red River with my dad that time when you guys were playing with broom dust. But you've always been just such a great sister and such a great friend from the moment I met you. And I'm sad because I'm gonna miss you. We're all gonna miss you so much. But we're also really happy for you. And we can't wait to come visit you, first of all, and to just see and hear what you do in your new life. So thank you for being a wonderful sister and a wonderful family member to all of us. We love you so much.
Felecia is she's more than a big sister to me, is what it feels like. She's almost more of like a den mother, kind of, but so young and so youthful still, but just somebody that I've really looked up to. She's very inspiring and always makes me feel like I have more to give. I have more. I can reach for that energy and bring it out.
Hi, Felecia. My word for you is encouragement, because as long as I've known you, you have been an encouraging and supportive presence for not just me, but for other women in our community, for your students, for the people in your circle. And I've really appreciated it. I know that they have too. And I'm sad that we're not going to see your beautiful face or hear your beautiful voice around town anymore. But I'm sure that there are wonderful things coming for you, and I can't wait to see what Mexico holds for you. So, hasta luego, and see you soon.
There's just no way that I will wait more than 3 or 4 months before coming back again, you know?
You're not saying goodbye.
I'm not saying goodbye.
Were your kids surprised that you were moving to Mexico?
They were surprised, but they were really excited because they want to go down there, and they both speak a little Spanish, so yeah. We're gonna have fun down there, you know. I think that it'll be fun, but I feel like I'll just get in better shape because I live in the country right now, and I kind of keep myself kind of shut in and stuff. And there, you have to walk everywhere.
That sounds good.
When we had our Fitbits on there, I was walking an average of about 7 miles a day there. And I know I could do that here too, but I have to do it there if I want to go eat some avocados or some certain tacos that you like or something, because you can't park in that town. So we're gonna sell our cars and just go down there and live life a little simpler.
Wow. And you and Lou got married not that long ago, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're newlywed too.
We had a commitment ceremony a couple years ago in front of all of our friends, and then just recently we tied the knot.
Congratulations. You seem you're like the most in love person I know.
Oh, I love him so much.
I said, you know, Fee, that you and I have this thing. We have to stay together for the rest of our lives, if for no other reason, which of course we are going to be. We will be together to the end. But there's this energy that we have that it's 1 and 1 is greater than 2. Mm-hmm. When we come together, we tend to, how do I say this? We exemplify each other. We amplify each other. And it's just how we are as a couple. And that was important to me in the relationship, that we have that. And I had never had that before. And neither had she.
I met Felecia and Lou a few years ago as I was about to release a new album. And they both invited me into their lives, invited me to play at their wedding, introduced me to all of their friends. Honestly, I think that they are both a rare breed that you don't find every day. And Felecia, Lou, I am sincerely going to miss your presence in Santa Fe. I'm so happy for you in your new adventures and that you're moving to such a beautiful place. And all I can say is I cannot wait until the big party in Mexico. So cheers to you both, and thank you.
He's so supportive, and you know, he loves my children, and he always tells me he cries every time I sing, you know, and so I try not to sing too much. But he's the most incredible man I've ever known.
Together, it's a beautiful magic.
That's it.
I've seen a lot of people cry when you're singing. Are you used to that? Are you trying to make them cry?
No. I like to think of singers, if they're really doing it from the right spot in their heart, that they're healers. They're healing, and they're in crying and laughing, and all those things are a part of healing, right? Especially laughter is the best medicine. I wish I could always make people laugh, but if I can make them cry and heal, that's okay too.
You've done a lot of community events too.
A lot of community events. I love raising money for Kitchen Angels and all those wonderful nonprofits.
As her partner, how would you describe the impact that Felecia has had on Santa Fe and her New Mexico communities?
Enormous impact. Totally humble, caring and giving from the heart, no matter what. She would give you things she has no right giving away, but she'd figure out a way to make it happen because there was a need, and if she could help fill it, she'll do it. Selflessly, constantly selflessly putting herself out there, making other people's lives better.
Exactly. Yes, that's my biggest takeaway from Felecia as well, is that she really has taught me that, like, you can impact other people's lives with your love. Just your love alone.
Just your love.
Some of our best friends, Red and Marla, and we just wanted to include them so you can just be honest from your heart. When you think of Felecia, what's one word you think of whenever you think of Felecia?
Love.
Love?
Big love. I would add positivity, so we can join those two terms into loveativity.
Oh, her beautiful voice. I love how deep it is, and her range, it really, really speaks to my heart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just see how much she invests into each song and how she makes it her own and sings from her heart. And you can't help but be moved.
Standing Rock?
Standing Rock.
You did a great show for Standing
Yeah,
Rock.
did Brian Hargrove put all that together, and I got to do a couple of big shows for that. That was fun.
Talented singer, but equal to that, and her singing abilities are pretty high, but equal to that is her giving nature. Every time I had something going on in town and I called Felecia, she was right there. Not only was she there, she would organize other people to be there. And we had these great shows, the Standing Rock shows, when the Standing Rock tribe was having difficulty up north. And Felecia was there. She helped organize, she helped get people involved. And the fact that she was involved got other people to want to be involved too. So she's just a real sweet woman. And I'm sorry we're gonna lose her, but I'll just have to go down to Mexico next time I need her.
And then, AMP Concerts has always had, Jamie Lynn Festi, before AMP would have me sing every once in a while back in the day. And
Man.
Well, I can't believe that Santa Fe is losing you, Felecia. It's the end of an era here in the City Different. You've been a part of the music scene here for as long as I can remember. You were the key part of a first band that I fell in love with here in Santa Fe, 100 Year Flood. The haunting wail of your vocals on those records that you made back then and those shows you did. Still to this day, it gives me chills remembering those, and I still listen to those records often. Your dedication to your students, to teaching music, to sharing your love of music, to hosting music events at your house, parties with music, your love of musicians. My God, what a challenge that can be.
That's it.
All of it is going to be hugely missed in our town, and while we're also happy for your big move, we also don't want you to forget us here in the wilds of northern New Mexico, even as you bask in the glorious sun of old Mexico. Come back and see us. We can't wait to get you back on stage and have you sing for us all again. Take care out there.
That was probably one of the coolest things is when we got to open up for Sunvolt.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Dolly Parton.
Oh, Dolly Parton, that would be cool.
This is Dolly Parton, and she thinks she should be in the church. Get out of the picture. Get out. Felecia. I'm just going to keep going, okay? I'm going to miss you so much. And I'm so grateful that we became friends in such a short amount of time after seeing each other for years and thinking, I was thinking, she should be my friend. I just felt this spirit between us, but I think I was busy and you were busy, not in the, not me busy, but in the occupied way. Anyway, I'm gonna miss you, and I'm so happy for you and Lou and the adventure that lies ahead for you and all of the new friends and new journeys that you're going to encounter, and the new language and foods and just everything. You're just opening a beautiful new chapter in your life, and our friendship has meant so much to me, even though it's just really beginning. So let's keep it going. Adios, friends. Keep in touch.
No, 100 Year Flood didn't open up for. That was a band I was in back. It was before 100 Year Flood, but members of 100 Year Flood were together, hanging out together back then. But we didn't have a band yet. But I was in Paula Nelson's band. And then Dolly Parton.
This is Dolly Parton.
Was when I was singing for the inauguration for the governor. One of the governors, it was a Democrat governor, female, Ann Richards, and so I sang my song, in front of all these people, and then I came off with my cordless mic and gave it to Dolly Parton.
Our dog's name is Dolly Parton, and she loves you too. you and Lou.
That's amazing.
And she looked up at me. She says, "You never stop singing. You hear me?"
And I will always love you. I will always love you. And Dolly Parton too.
And Willie Nelson.
Willie Nelson, yeah. You know, like I said, I was in the band with Paula, so I got to be around Willie quite a bit. We were at his Easter at his house, you know, a couple years. I got to go to video shoots when he'd do video shoots, and they would have us over for just to a friend's house. You know, I get to every once in a while hang out with Willie Nelson, and you know, they brought us into the big bus one time, and we got to smoke with Willie.
Did you want something like specific for your career, or did you kind of just follow where the music and your life was taking you?
I think I was just basically just whatever life was taking me, because you know, we didn't really send our CDs out to big record companies or anything. We weren't really going for that as much. Even the things that happened to us, like in the Netherlands and in Mexico, wherever we went, was all invitations. So we were just digging in. I think that mainly recording was like the most important thing to us, and then for me now, I'm kind of starting to feel that way as I get older. I mean, I definitely want to tour, and I definitely want to meet all the people that I get to that play my music, and my music becomes maybe a part of their life. Then of course I want to feel like, you know, going to meet them, but I just don't feel like I want that just because of fame. I don't want that. I'm 56 years old.
Are you?
Yeah. So I'm not looking to be Britney Spears. I never have been.
That's it.
And sometimes I would be
seem like
just
that
the
works out
opposite.
very well anyway.
No, it doesn't work out. Oh man, you know, it's like anything. You know, if you're meant to be a diver and a shark whisperer, you're gonna do that. If you're meant to be a singer and a mom, then you're just gonna do that. And I just don't have any other goals except for I do want to raise a lot of money for my kids in Uganda.
Yeah, tell us about that.
So I'm pretty much on texting or messaging with people from Uganda, and they are taking all these children in their community under their wing to and under the New Village Alliance and Save Chamalibwa Alliance. And what we're doing is we're finding them sponsors here in the U.S., and then that way they can go to school and live in dormitory instead of on mud floors, you know, enduring all kinds of abuse. So far, I think we've got 50-something children sponsored. And a lot of my friends are helping.
Felecia is a sunbeam, a sun ray, a burst of sunshine. She is just a beautiful light and a beautiful soul. And she also has selflessly given so much of her time to help donate to a Village Alliance in Uganda and an orphanage, and with a sister partnership here in Madrid, New Mexico, outside of Santa Fe. To hear her sing on stage with so many of Santa Fe's top-tier musicians has been really special for all of us that live here, I think. It reminds us that we too have the power to warm the world with our inherent light, because you warm our worlds with your inherent light. And Lou, thank you for loving our sweet Felecia, and I wish you both so much love and happiness. And I'll see you soon in San Miguel. Ciao.
How did you get involved with that?
So I lived in Madrid for just a little bit when I was house sitting, and I met some people there, a lady named Rebecca, and there's a guy named Brian, and Brian is the one that started it. And he is there right now in Uganda, and they brought 5 water wells to the community, because the kids were literally not going to school because they were working for neighbors to go get water 5 miles away, and it was water that made them sick. So first of all was getting the water, and then let's get the kids in education, and then let's help their moms. You know, it's just like one step at a time. So is pretty beautiful.
That's incredible. Yeah, for sure.
I think that's what I really want to do with the rest of my life is if I can make a little money with my singing, that would be great so that I can give it all away.
What is the one word that comes to mind when I think of Felecia Ford? Well, technically it's two words. It's big heart. Yeah, she's got a big heart. She's super supportive, very selfless as a friend, just, always helping others and always help me without expecting things in return. It's just a good soul, really. Big heart.
Do you think Felecia has some kind of singing superpower?
She has one of the truest, realest voices I've ever heard.
When I think of Felecia, I think of two things: big voice and big heart. And the best, most talented people tend to be the nicest people with the biggest hearts.
You're generous with your heart. You're generous with your voice. You're generous with your soul. You are beautiful. Broom Dust Caravan. I was a bit of a groupie, and I fell in love with the band, and I fell in love with you. I asked the band, because of your beautiful voice, to sing at my 40th birthday party. I will always, always cherish our friendship, and I will always cherish you singing at our wedding. And I can't thank you enough. I love you.
A word that would, describe what I felt about Felecia, and there's no word that could ever cover that. And everybody will be covering, the usual words. She's beautiful, kind, thoughtful, sweet, accommodating. I mean, it just goes on forever.
Hey, Felecia, it's your friend Margaret, wishing you a wonderful bon voyage to your new adventure. I was thinking of a word that reminded me of you, and the one that came to my mind was magnanimous. And I looked it up just to make sure that it was really what I meant. And here's what magnanimous means: generous, charitable, benevolent, open-handed, big-hearted, bountiful, liberal, handsome, princely, altruistic, kind, philanthropic, noble, unselfish, self-sacrificing, merciful, indulgent, clement, bounteous. Yep, that's the word I meant.
You're so down home, girl. That's my girl. Yeah.
All right, from the vocal booth to this beautiful cutting room. Hey, everyone. Oh, we really never even played this together as a band before. This is so cool.
Ladies and gentlemen, please enjoy Felecia Ford's new single. You're hearing it for the first time, The Road Less Traveled.
The road less traveled is not paved with gold. It's not paved with gold. It's not made. The road less traveled is not paved with gold. It's not paved with gold. It's not made. Mother under a bridge, never forget you're worth in the world. For your little girl, for your daughter, back for tomorrow with Tuesday's sorrow. You won't let go. The road less traveled is not paved with gold. It's not paved with gold. It's not made. it's worth it.
Hola, Felecia. It's me, Ava. I'm really gonna miss you when you go away to Mexico. Because your lessons were the highlight of my week. I love them. And just thank you for giving me a chance to sing at your wedding. That built my confidence a lot that day. And just thank you for my lessons. Thank you for believing in me. Because if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be as confident as I am now. Well, at least when it's cloudy outside, you'll bring the sun. And I know you will, because you always brought it to me. Well, have fun in Mexico. Adios.
So this is not goodbye, and it's just basically, farewell for now, Santa Fe.
And thank you, Frogville, for all you have done to help us get to this point.
Yes, thank you, Frogville.
So is it kind of a full circle kind of moment in that, Felecia was one of the first people to record here, and this is one of the last places she'll probably be recording before she leaves town, right?
Yeah. Well, it's what a long, strange trip it's been.